So, how is it going, guys? This is Ryan here.
And this is Other Ryan here.
And today we're going to be talking about a very interesting theory and an idea proposal which actually suggests that on night 5 when you beat Five Nights at Freddy's 3, you were always supposed to get the bad ending, and that the good ending never happened.
Yeah, basically in this video what we're suggesting is that there will never actually be a good ending to the game.
No, because that would actually break the cycle of events which occurred in the games after, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so let's jump straight into this anyway, guys. So, in order to achieve the good ending, what you actually have to do is a very strict and precise series of events, featuring pretty much you accessing many images and many small pictures. You have to kind of click on them and try and figure out which ones to click on. And you have to do, as I've said, quite a few series of events, one different on each night, which kind of coincides with the events which happen after. And eventually, you'll have to deliver the cake to, I think it's a total of 4 children. And then on the 5th night, when you actually, you then have to click on the marionette poster in camera 3. And in doing so, you're greeted to a minigame known as Happiest Day. Now, if you access this minigame beforehand, it doesn't really make sense. You just kind of walk around, there's a child in the corner, and you can't really do anything, can you?
No.
So then, by doing all of these minigames, and then when you actually revisit this on night 5, all of the various animatronic characters, I say animatronics, they're more kind of mascot characters, are all lined up, and then you give cake to the kid who was crying in the corner. They then all disappear, and it seems like masks kind of float away from their faces, isn't it? And then the 5th child has quite a peculiar face, to say the least. And that basically represents the kind of freeing of the children. Now, in contrast to that, if we actually want just the bad ending, all we do is we play the game through normally. Now, wouldn't it make sense to have to do something wrong to get a bad ending, rather than do a lot of things to actually get the good ending, like really specific and I suppose fairly difficult things?
Yeah, this leads back to a previous video that we've done on time paradoxes.
Yeah.
Basically, if we were to follow the nights through without doing anything, we get to the bad ending, which is all of the animatronics and a 5th one in the back with all their lights kind of on, as if the souls are still trapped inside the suits. And it seems like there's like cages in front of the eyes, almost like it's a prison.
Prison cell.
They're in.
Kind of the, like a metaphor towards you will never escape, you'll always be kind of trapped within the confinements of the animatronic.
And so basically, this actually represents what happens throughout the Five Nights at Freddy storyline, because if this bad ending didn't happen, none of the storyline previous and after it would have happened.
Yeah, exactly. And I think another thing we have to think about when we see these heads as well is that, which game are these heads from?
These heads are from Five Nights at Freddy's 1.
Exactly. Now, if these events even took place in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, we know that game was prior, and we actually know that the existence of characters such as Bonnie and the other animatronics, they existed, as I said. So, it kind of shows us that there's more significance towards Five Nights at Freddy's 1, and the trap solves are why the animatronics might be so angry in the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 confinement.
Yeah.
They might be enraged, but of course, guys, if this didn't happen, there would be no Five Nights at Freddy's 1 for the simple fact of there would be no souls, so the suits would be free, so
why is there a good ending? Why is it called the good ending? It doesn't make sense. Maybe it's the, how you want it to, to stop the events after happening.
Well,
almost.
Yeah, at the end of the day, a good ending, it represents what should have happened, doesn't it? It represents the good ending, quite literally, yeah. And I think after people seeing this good ending, a lot of people came to the idea, it was kind of like, well, that was a great game, the curtains are drawn. Let's put ourselves in another situation, okay? Okay, imagine you've bought a game, you've played through the whole storyline, and you've got to the ending and you've done everything right. You'd expect a good ending, wouldn't you? You'd expect to be rewarded.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't...
Well, in this game, we're not actually rewarded. And generally, you have to really mess up in a game in order to get the bad ending, and it doesn't really make sense. Well, I suppose it does, actually, because then it would lead on to the events of Five Nights at Freddy's 1, but to get the good ending, believe it or not, that actually doesn't make sense, because, of course, it doesn't happen.
Well, either or. Yeah, definitely. I mean, either or, it's still the same ending, but it's just the picture's different. That's all that's literally different about the game.
Precisely, yeah. But it's just strange how playing the game and doing things right, you get the bad ending. I mean, that's the biggest hint that, of course, this still happened, because it's not like we can get the good ending our first time playing, is it? We won't know how to get the good ending. So we're supposed to 100% get the bad ending. Scott has made us get it.
So yeah, the bad endings, I think, are actually meant to represent the storyline in its entire, because you're just a night guard, you're doing your thing. You're not meant to, click on posters and transport into a mini game. It's pretty unrealistic, but
I think the only thing we can contrast with that is possibly a feature video talking about who this night guard really is.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah. So we're going to end on that note, guys. Also, be sure to comment your ideas down below, because I think this is a really interesting thing, really, because, well, as we've said, it's such a unique and peculiar way to end a game, and it definitely triggers a lot of thinking. So yeah. Okay then, guys, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.
Goodbye, guys.
Want to see even more content from us?
Consider liking and subscribing to ensure you'll see all content in the foreseeable future.
And hey, why not check out our past 2 videos?